Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. I am Razim and this is Rooms and Reptiles, Dungeons and Dragons. Jova, if you would be so kind.
Any books. They're so nice to
Start that
give
over,
me books.
Dova. Unfortunately, there was a technical thing. My voice meter crashed. So nobody heard any of that.
Yay.
Hello everybody, I am Razim. Welcome. Sorry about that. This is Rooms and Reptiles D&D. Go ahead, Dova.
Alright. As for the second time. Last time on Rooms and Reptiles, and this comes from our party member Rock, the fighter slash barbarian in spirit. We worked out our murder plan. It was a good plan, but after some talking amongst the members of the council, we decided to wing it. I do much better with that. As the group did recon as to what to do, I went to the place of many books. They're so nice to give me books, where I found information on a local boogeyman story. Failing to find the boogeyman, the others had the amazing idea to become the boogeyman. This was the best idea ever. With me as the body of the boogeyman and Breadbeater, or Raku for those of us who aren't Rock. As the face, we went with the plan. Rock entered the target's house and did what Rock is best at. Covered in blood, bits of bone, and mashed meat, guards start to come up the stairs, and with a wide, joyful grin, I waited for them to join the fun. And now, on this episode of Rooms and Reptiles, we'll continue where we left off, as the party had begun to carry out their assassination of the local councilman, who is notably and very, very ostensibly anti-Zentarum, a Moriar T. Grimm. The T, of course, is his middle initial. It's a dumb name, I'm sorry, but it gives me great joy. Rock and Cobalt made their way to the counselor's house, where they enacted a very swift and somewhat brutal assassination, while Raku had dressed himself up in his spookiest clothing, aiming to blame the murder on the boogeyman. And Eric's is acting as a scout, overwatching the whole procedure in case something goes wrong. At the moment, we don't have Infel with us, but he is expected to join us later. Infel is off, sort of acting as a flexible agent, should things go awry. So, we will continue first with Rock. Cobalt, could you give me a perception check? This is as you're watching through the window.
Wait, I can see through the portal.
That's true. So the way that the portal is angled, actually you would be able to see.
Also, I can rotate the portal freely.
Oh, well, yeah, then you'll be able to see. So, Rock. You hear vibrations through the floor of a handful of guards sort of haphazardly making their way up the steps. Maybe two. You are currently in the room with the deceased senator, as well as a good amount of his blood everywhere.
I've got a quick question.
What's up?
How big is Rock?
Small.
Technically small.
Yeah, I'm 2 foot tall.
You must have some really massive hands then. I mean, you're holding 2 people in your hands?
Make a Constitution. Actually, no, that's a Wisdom saving throw, Zim.
Oh, that's good. It's better than my con.
Too bad for you. The DC was 30. Take 8 asshole damage.
Wait, a 30 stealth roll? I can make that.
Thanks to your very, very high roll, you managed to avoid any meta damage. However, you get a splitting headache.
As well as an image of a bird scowling at you.
Somewhat, yeah.
I had to. Anyways.
So yeah,
Yes.
Cobalt is motioning Rock back to the portal.
Do you listen to that, Rock?
No, I'm just kind of. I don't really pay too much attention towards the porter behind me. I'm just kind of listening for the footsteps coming closer.
There's no foot. You can't hear that. That's why I'm motioning toward you.
You are still in the area of effect of a silence spell.
Oh, well then I wouldn't even notice the portal because the portal is behind me.
Oh, then
hack-
I'll. If I notice that he's not paying attention, I'll try to grab him with Mage Hand. And like pull him this way.
All right. As you attempt to do so, your hand sort of... Hold on just a minute. Are you sticking your torso through to cast this mage hand? Because otherwise it's going to be too far away.
No, I can cast things through the portal as if they like the arcane gate.
It specifically says that?
Yeah, the arcane gate
okay.
acts as though they're right next to each other.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he would be able to do that.
It's like literally portal.
All right. As you're doing so, your hand sort of wisps into being in midair and slowly floats, slowly kind of darts through the gate. As it's about 10 feet or so from him, there's a small, you can see a small sort of almost a rustling from his satchel as he turns invisible. A split second afterwards, the door slams open and
For the end
2
of the world
guards
spell.
almost collapse inwards, clearly very tired from running up the stairs.
Wait, so Rock turned invisible?
Correct.
I'm gonna hold on. Okay, so let me check Arcane Gate real quick. Two-dimensional glowing rings filled with mist, ranges on the ground, particularly. A ring is visible only from one side. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the portal around so it's facing the wall, and they can't. So I don't know if I specified this before, but I had the portal not like on the wall, but kind of up against it, and I was gonna turn it toward the wall so they can't see it. Because it says it's invisible except from the point that you're looking at it. Or except from the point that you can go in through it.
All right. As you flip the portal around, you are now greeted with a view of the fine wooden wall from your
And I
side.
And I switched to my telescope.
All right. As you sort of bring it out, you bear witness to about half of the scene that's about to happen with you, Rock. As the two guards stumble inwards, one of them quickly runs over to the senator directly next to you, seemingly not noticing that you even exist. He sort of brings a hand down, maybe to check his pulse for a moment before looking at the head completely separated, and just sort of stands back up. He tries to yell something, but the other guard can't hear. Are you doing anything, Rock?
Ooh.
Hey, Rock, I'm pretty sure you saw the portal turn around.
Probably.
Yeah, you probably
Perception's
would.
pretty good.
Alright,
So
hold
you
on.
know
I
where
got
to
two
go.
choices. Okay. So Rock's just gonna go out the
mention
room.
that killing the guy is our priority, and we have to make a quick exit, not to.
Well, I rolled a d20 to see what he would
First you
do.
did.
High that he would stick to the mission, and low he would, murder and add more to the body count. And I rolled high, so Rock's gonna go out of the house.
His smarts worked for the first time in forever.
Well, he was given a mission, and he grew up to stick to the mission.
That's true. I remember that. But yeah, you know where the portal is, and you can still go through it.
Are you going to go through the portal or try to escape another way?
Probably another way. Because I don't think Rock wouldn't have fully saw the portal turn around, but he wouldn't be thinking about going the portal out anyway. He's just kind of in the heat of the moment.
But that's where the escape is. We went over this plan. You go into the portal, you come back through the portal, and then we dimension door.
He's on a battle high right now.
Alright, well, I'm watching through the telescope.
All right. As you sneak past the man in the doorway, go ahead and make a stealth check with advantage. Actually, yeah, because you're not wearing armor. Oh no.
Ooh.
Well, they are quite distracted by something.
Oh, good God.
Are you still there?
As you silently and completely invisibly make your way past the guard in the doorway, you narrowly duck out of the way as he sprints back down the stairs, rushing out the front door, crying out for the guards.
Alright, well, seeing as he's completely abandoned the portal, I'm going to close it as a free action.
Okay.
And I'm going to start working on dispersing the residual energy.
Alright.
Not the residential energy.
You could take a 10 on it if you spend, we'll say 3 minutes. It's a lot more calmer work, so it's going to be slower, but it's going to be more thorough. Or you could try to do it fast, do it in 30 seconds, which would require an Arcana check.
Now, doing it fast, if I pass the Arcana check, will that disperse it completely or just mostly?
It should remove anything that you think the sort of arcane investigators could ever trace.
Alright. We are on a time crunch, and I'm not gonna take any chances, so I'm just gonna do it quickly.
Alright.
That is the wrong thing to drag onto the chat. I'll keep that.
Keep that? Alright. It's
After all, I did practice a little bit.
you did. You could take, let's say,
I'm
So,
okay
yeah,
if it takes
as-
a little bit longer.
okay. You slip up as you're finishing up with one of the last threads, sort of disturbing two others. So it does take a little bit of time to fix that, but after about 40 to 45 seconds, you're done. And at about this time, Rock, is your main intent to escape?
Yes.
All right. Your invisibility fades after you make it out the gate, just behind the guard that's sprinting through it. The gate was locked, but the house guard basically crashed through it, very hastily unlocking it and almost just dropping the padlock. As your invisibility fades, right about in the middle of the street. Currently, the house guard is about 60 to 70 feet away from you, and you two are going in the opposite direction. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
Me?
Yes,
With advantage or without?
without.
Oh, where was
Alright.
that?
Does better without advantage.
Look at that. As without much incident, you slink from the rather dark road into the even darker alleyway just beside it. Raku,
Yes.
did you guys set up any way to actually message that the deed has been done?
Nope.
Excellent. Go ahead and make a performance check to act very, very suspicious and guilty.
Can I not do deception? Since I'm deceiving them into thinking I'm the boogeyman?
I think this was definitely a DM's call because I don't think I've encountered this kind of situation before.
I think this is going to be more of performance since it's going off of more of body language.
I'm not trying to argue, but performance says that it's some form of entertainment.
Oh, it's some form of entertainment? Okay.
Yeah. Check determines how you can delight an audience with music, dance, acting, storytelling, or some other form of entertainment.
Here we go. I got it for you. Roll a dexterity deception check.
What?
I can do that.
How does that work?
So
I'm guessing
roll a
it's
dexterity check using
And then-
your proficiency modifier if you have it in deception.
I mean, my deception is plus 11.
Go ahead and roll it with the dexterity.
Wait, so what do I add?
Okay,
What?
Dexterity
So,
modifier.
Raku, you're rolling a deception check, except you're using dexterity instead of charisma.
Exactly.
Okay, so plus 8. Okay, so that's plus 13. It's even better.
Yeah, I don't know what you're arguing.
No. You're just adding your proficiency if you're proficient in it.
Yeah, I am. I'm double proficient in it.
So wouldn't that be plus 8?
His
Instead of
dexterity
plus
is
11.
better than his charisma.
My dexterity is 5 plus 8, 13.
Oh, all right then. Never mind. Congrats, Dova.
Come on here. Is this
He,
not?
he was fishing to use his better skills, and you gave him an even better one. Except it's a 10.
23.
23, yeah.
All right, yeah, you can just take 10. I
Why'd you
forgot.
ask, Dova? You should have stuck
Oh.
with performance.
And remember, can I roll with advantage? Because I said I was taking my potion of flight, so I was hovering a foot across the ground to seem more spectral.
You pass it. If you want to roll again,
Yeah.
go ahead. But go ahead and tell me what you're actually doing.
I'm wandering around the kind of like the tavern row area, and I'm trying to pick out some people who are sort of inebriated or whatever, and I'm gonna be hovering there, foot above the ground, until they look at me. Then I'm gonna kind of do like the limp finger point from like the freaking Body Snatchers, as I'm looking at them in my horrifying disguise.
All
And I'm
right.
just gonna be going to kind of floating around, trying to find sort of more singled out people to see me.
You have any props? Besides your costume, of course.
I spent 7 hours on this costume, and I'm
I mean,
floating.
Pretty
Those
sure
are
Like,
costumes are gonna be
Maybe a
enough.
bloody knife or some chains, maybe?
I mean, I can do prestidigitate. No, I don't want to do that. No, yeah, I do have my dagger. Or I guess I could have my dagger in my offhand kind of held downward instead of upward in my offhand while I'm pointing at them.
Ooh, that's good.
Kinda-
Your inner prankster is absolutely delighted as you're getting quite a lot of drunks and sort of just sort of like the midnight crowd screaming and running away, all while crying for help from the guards, from their gods, from anyone really. And as soon as you get their attention, you basically disappear into an alleyway, floating just above the rooftops. How long does that potion of flight last?
It lasts. What was it? Might have been an hour.
Probably the
Let me
same as the flight spell, right?
find a potion of flying. 1 hour.
1 hour?
I think
All
that's
right.
a decent time.
Yeah. Eric's.
It's a good thing you're floating, because, like, you're not very tall.
That's
42.
exactly. Well, not necessarily because I'm not tall, but also because it's terrifying. Because I'm fucking floating.
Both those things.
Could you go ahead and give me a... And actually, what are you just wild shaped as?
Peregrine Falcon.
All right.
It was your idea.
Oh, I'm aware.
I could go down and land on his shoulder.
Also, remember this is
Add to
Moonless
the,
Night at the moment.
As you're observing, doing slow, almost lazy circles above, eventually perching on some high spires and just watching the action go down. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
With bird advantage?
Yes.
Yes, because they actually get advantage for sight checks. It's a good thing you had advantage.
All right.
Well, I mean, I could have gotten the 13 instead of the 1. But, yeah, it's still good.
You managed to keep track of Rock and Cobalt's work up until Rock slinks into an alleyway and out of view. You watch as the house guard manages to flag down a few patrolling guardsmen, one of which you see activate a
Hello, Commander. In
small
response to your
magical
request, we have sent backup. Good luck, Commander.
scroll.
We are forever in your debt.
At that point, quite a few. Actually, never mind. You would not notice what would happen from that. Sorry. As for Raku's work, you'd manage to see a few of his sightings. Although it's kind of hard to track him when you can't really predict where he's going to be walking, since he doesn't walk. But it looks pretty dang spooky. And finally, in the darkness above you, and almost your peripheral vision, as you're drifting above one of his sightings, in front of what looks to be a rather rundown tavern, you see the glimpse of what looks to be another hawk. Could you give me a nature check?
Do I get bird advantage again?
Does wild shape give you the same instincts as that animal that you're wild shaped as?
Sorry, DM bird advantage.
Oh, no.
Oh. Yeah, I got a
It
plus
probably
6.
would, though.
He's probably just soaring and looking for food. It's somewhat hard to tell the body language of birds, especially when it's this dark. So yeah, you don't think it might be any issue. Any, large, imposing issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Infel.
Me.
You were basically acting as a flexible agent to the plan, correct?
Yes. For now, I'm just acting normal in an honorable paladin fashion. After I prayed to Saloon, I just went to the hospital to work.
All right. Go ahead and give me a medicine check.
Okay. I've got
Alright.
got magic. But at this point, I'm practicing as a doctor at this point. Much more of this, and I might have half proficiency.
At the moment, there's no critical sort of, somebody bleeding from the gut patients. It's mostly people with long-term diseases, some very, very inebriated drunkards, which have made their way here for some rehabilitation, perhaps, and the odd. You actually had one person come in a few hours ago with a broken ankle. Happened somewhere near the docks.
Do I have just the healing for you? Why aren't more paladins working here? Jesus.
You managed to sort of set the joint in place as far as you have knowledge of. Broken bones and joints aren't really one of your specialties. When you start to hear murmurs of something happening,
Yes.
there's some rumors of something supernatural going on right now. There's some people are saying that the city is under attack by supernatural beings, and you eventually start to hear whispers. Someone just sort of offhandedly mentioning that it kind of reminds them of an old fairy tale, what this so-called monster looks like.
I must be off. Excuse me. I must investigate for the safety of the citizenry.
The hospital staff are ever gracious for the time that you spent there. However, they do seem kind of annoyed that you're leaving.
There's supernaturals about.
All right. Are you
No,
heading
I don't
anywhere?
expect to get paid for this. This is volunteer work.
Do you head anywhere in specific?
I suppose a tavern might be good, because I'm gonna start asking around about this fairy tale. Start getting in people's minds.
I want to head off a more sober-looking person in an alley.
All right.
And I'm going to do the same limp finger point at them. I'm going to go, life or death.
The person who you've managed to sort of trap in an alleyway is a rather about maybe 18, 19-year-old human man, somewhat pudgy, a bit of grease on his face. It looks like he's tired. He's been at work for quite a long time. He sort of holds his hands up and slowly backs away. You can see that he's completely terrified. Life.
Doom shall follow you.
As he flinches back, sort of turning his head to the side, and he continues to try to back up towards the exit to the alleyway.
What a perfect time it would be for Infel just to explode and yell, "Please, criminal!"
Speaking of, Infel, could you give me a perception check?
Yes. Nope.
As you walk past the alleyway.
You know, I was thinking about spending a lucky point, but I guess
That's
not.
great.
You are fast on that.
Infel, you could have sworn you saw something in the alleyway across the way. Like the exact opposite alleyway. You could have sworn you saw something moving in there.
That's interesting.
We have an influence.
I guess I'll just have to wait until he screams or something.
Anir wants Infel to re-roll because his bad luck continues.
Go ahead and re-roll, Infel.
Oh, okay. It was so close to an 18, I swear to God. Okay, hold on.
No, this is fine. This is fine. We want you to fail.
Yeah, true enough, but...
Are you trying...
I was ready for it to be a 3.
Are you trying to remain hidden at all, Riku?
Riseroth, that's only a minor thing. I will refund that if you want to put it back in. But Riseroth wants another reroll.
Well, question, but I know it's you.
Why? We want him to fail this.
I mean, this could work. Do you want me to, do I notice that it's Infel? Do you want me to roll perception?
You definitely would be able to see that it's Infel. You're looking from the darkness into a little bit of light. In addition, Infel armor is shiny and reflects bits of lamplight. So I'd say you'd be able to see him without any roll. And I believe your perception is through the roof as well.
I'm going to swiftly turn from the person that I'm scaring the shit out of and look like I'm grasping Infel, and I'm going to whisper to him, "Play along." And I'm going to, if he allows me to, I'm going to push him over.
Of course.
And
I know it's you.
As he...
But I'd imagine it's you.
Yeah. Well, you've seen my costume, so you would know.
Yeah.
How are you going to whisper it to him?
Like I said, I was gonna put my I'm gonna put my hands on his shoulders and like lean in and say that quietly, and then push him over, and then I guess fly out of view of the person I was scaring in the alley.
So you're trying to push over and speak to Infel?
Yeah, I'm gonna whisper quickly, "Play along," and then I'm gonna push him over, and Infel agreed.
Wait, can't you cast Whisper?
So
I can cast Message, but there's no point.
So what's happening is that you're on the sort of the random man is in between you and Infel. You'd have to sort of go around him in some way to actually talk to Infel. Infel is about 20 feet into the street.
I was assuming that I had the guy I was scaring was pinned at the end of an alley, and Infel was on the other side in the street, and I was in between the two of them.
No, the guy is in the middle of you two.
Well, I mean, I can float over him. It doesn't seem like it's too difficult.
Alright, you'd be able to do that.
Yeah. And so, like I said, I'm gonna push over Infel and then fly off.
Alternatively, you could stab him and I'll heal him.
I feel like in this situation, it wouldn't be like a malicious push. It'd be more like a get out of my way push.
Alright, I'd
Essentially,
As
yes.
as he flies off.
Yes, that's what I'm meaning.
Alright.
Because
As you
because-
notice Infel, you basically float upward for a moment just to barely clear the man who, as you float upwards, sort of hunkers down and holds his hand over his head.
What I'm imagining is Raku is moving with like, sort of like a ghost's, like with ghostliness of how he's hovering and kind of gliding along. I don't know if
as you
roll,
sort of
like dexterity or whatever.
I'd say you managed to do it. As you float just above the man, shooting past him out into the street for a moment, before you sort of jut your arms out under a fold of fabric and push rather strongly against the small of Infel's, or sort of his shoulder. And Infel, you're going along with it?
Of course.
Alright. As Infel, you're roughly shoved forward and fall to the ground with the clattering of metal against stone.
What power? Halt, monstrosity! You have plagued this town for hundreds of years, but you shall meet your end today!
And I'll disappear, but I don't think I need to roll a stealth check against Infel.
Nope.
Since I'm going like around the corner of the building where the guy I was scaring can't see me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only that, but he's also in on it, so he probably won't look that hard.
Nope.
No, that's why I'm saying, since it's Infel, I don't really need to. I don't really need to trick him.
The guy is going to, after seeing that the specter is gone, is going to stand back up and sprint back out into the street, calling out for guards. Sounds like it went well.
Does.
And
So,
I would pretty much be yelling this, so like people think, an ancient evil in this town? What could it be?
Man, Raku is loving this.
I also like how
Would that be?
I also like how Infel's playing the bright light paladin. Like, I'm gonna help you stop this. And
I mean,
by doing so, I'm going to spread rumors of its existence.
I mean, Infel is on our side because this guy was an a-hole in church, so...
Uh-huh. So, back to Rock and I. I'm guessing he goes up into the building without any issue and we dimension door somewhere else? Without...
Yeah. I'd say you'd be able to rendezvous eventually.
Like, basically, yeah.
I
And
assume
then-
we would have talked about a meeting place,
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah,
And,
but
I'm also gonna do the thing where I disperse whatever residual energy dimension door causes.
Go ahead and both of you, could you give me a stealth check and then Cobalt and Arcana check?
Yes.
Unless you
would
want
also-
to take 10 minutes to
We're not-
disperse them.
We're not in any actual danger right now, are we? Doesn't seem like it.
As far as you know, doesn't
I'm-
seem like you are.
Okay, well, I'll take the stealth check first.
Alright. Solid.
I should be fine. And, I might as well roll an Arcana check. It couldn't make things worse, Help speed it up a little bit. I got that.
Alright.
Like, I want to do a good job of it. I want to make sure it works. It's just I'm trying to cut off a little bit of the time.
As you are making your way and trying to sort of rendezvous, Cobalt, for a moment you think that one of the passerby might have seen you sort of creeping through and crossing the street, although you're not quite sure, as nobody's calling for the guards and they haven't come to investigate. So
Okay.
I would
And
keep a
as
lookout.
as you guys meet together, what's the range on? What's that, Misty Step?
Dimension door?
Dimension Door. What's the range on that? 500 feet?
I think 500 or 400. But it's 500.
From the meeting point, I'd say you'd be able to do it. And as you're closing up and sort of cleaning up after yourself, your exit point was rather sort of contaminated by, looks like it seems to be past happenings. So there's a lot of stuff to actually sift through to try to remove all the evidence, which you think you might have done correctly.
Oh, that's good, I guess. As long as it's not. As long as if I just don't want to be tracked. Okay, I think I'm doing a good job.
I'd actually like to roll performance
Go ahead.
because I'm gonna make a show of this. Like
Yeah.
I go past Raku, but I'm charging down the streets and
Yeah.
yelling for the monster.
You are the hero, the Phantom. I think Phantom is more dramatic in this situation.
Oh yeah,
Phantom, yes,
Phantom, Spectre, Wraith.
No, I think Wraith is an actual thing. So.
No, I want to do this well. I'm charging down the streets. I'm making a scene. I'm
Stop,
stopping people.
evildoer! You shall not escape from
My
me.
Good
God.
lord.
This is gonna be a theme, isn't it? Alright, I saved one left. I
You're
don't
not
have any
doing
plans for
okay. That's okay.
There we go.
I mean, can he get advantage since he was just playing along with me? We were both playing people.
Sure,
Sure.
because I have pity on you for these terrible rolls.
Thanks. I guess.
Now
So,
you
let's
know
see,
you're
the first
doing
one would be one
awful.
advantage roll. The second one, well,
So I'm guessing just add a couple lucky points back because you only used one, right? Because you got advantage and then you rolled one additional d20,
yeah,
so that's one lucky point.
okay. I have
If you want
one
to keep, if you want to keep the 12th, yeah, you might as well just keep the one.
Yeah.
Anyways, as you put up quite a show, charging after it, making sure your armor is clanging and clacking and just doing all sorts of heroic paladin things.
I'm even holding up my glowing sword and making sure I stop people on the side of the road saying, like, have you witnessed the Spectre? And I'll even name it. Like, oh, and make sure they're remembering this legend, because, like, I saw the costume now. It's fresh in my mind. I can give them every detail.
All right.
I witnessed the Spectre assailing a man in an alley. I found him just in time to save his life.
It seems that the people you're coming across are believing you. I mean, your glowing sword and very, very official-looking armor seem to be putting people in a position to trust you. And it might be a problem later, but you seem to have gotten a following of a handful, so about 3 or 4 guards who are following you around, trying to look for and capture the Spectre as well.
I'll send one of them back to the alley to get the man. He's a valuable witness.
Dova,
Right? Yeah.
when you said when you said you've got a following, I thought you literally meant they started like worshiping him.
Uh-oh. Sailor
more
might
of
be
a-
mad because Intel's the new god.
It's more of a posse.
You're so heroic. You started a cult. It was that easy.
He's got some groupies.
Dude, so, oh man, that means that Infill can be one side of the cult, and me as the boogeyman can be the other side of the cult.
When it's heroic, it's called religion.
Eric's.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh,
Dova, stop.
I'll use a lucky point on that.
What's your current AC as a Falcon? It's 13, correct?
I have no idea. I just know I have
I'm looking
magic
at-
armor.
Okay. Well, if your AC is above a 19,
No.
then this doesn't hit. But otherwise, yeah, it's gonna hit. As
A moonbeam fired from the sky.
as you are watching with almost a childlike glee, the just the pure shenanigans of Raku as well as Infel, who's joining in. You hear a quiet rush of wind just to your side, as well as a brief, almost screech from the hawk, as
Oh,
the
no.
hawk is going to defend its territory. Oh wait, no, that automatically hits. So hawks have 1 HP.
So here's the thing, Dova.
Yeah?
I was actually thinking you're gonna bring that up, and the thought occurred to me, like, if a hawk attacked another hawk, would it literally die after one strike?
Actually, technically, they have 1d4 minus 1 HP. So go ahead and roll a 1d4, Eric's.
Well, yeah, but how much damage does a hawk claws do?
1.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah,
then.
that's it.
You're right.
As about... You're decently high up. 500 feet up. Your hawk form is torn through by the talons of a rather large falcon.
Uh-oh.
As the form drops, you are now 500 feet in the air and falling.
Do it again!
Now, if I remember correctly, you fall at about 300 feet per round.
Wasn't I perched somewhere?
Can I make a perception check?
I thought I was
It's true,
perched on
you're
a bell
probably-
tower.
For most of the time,
Or,
yes.
sorry,
Although you
clock.
were flying... I mean, if you were flying, you would have been much higher up. If you're on a bell tower, you might not have a turn.
I'm pretty sure I was perched on
That was me
a...
as info speaking,
I-
though.
Forget if it was specifically a bell or clock tower, but one of the two.
Because I would like
Fair
to
enough.
swat falling kobold, maybe.
Go ahead and
Infel,
make
can you hear
a-
me?
Because I'd probably be saying, like, the specter flew over the map. Like,
know
be
if you
sure
can.
to keep your... Okay.
Yeah, I noticed
Uh,
earlier that
well-
he kind of talked over me, so I don't think that Infel
I
can hear
mean,
me.
if I suddenly catch a falling kobold, like, wow, weird.
Info.
He's just going!
Infel, can you hear him?
That's too funny.
Infel-
Infel.
Did you? Hello?
What? Yeah. Hello?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but I can't hear Eric's.
I was
if
about to
he's
say,
saying
because
something-
you've been talking over him for a little bit now.
Really? I haven't heard anything.
Is he muted for you? Like
Is he?
client side muted? Go ahead and right click on him. Make sure he's not muted.
We...
No?
This is...
Is
Is he talking right now?
Yes, I am.
Did you hear that?
No.
Tell him to restart Discord. I think that would be
yeah,
the
just
best first
weird.
off.
Yeah, try to restart. Just restart Discord.
Did you not start questioning things when Dova was talking to Zim without Zim speaking?
I was a little confused. Like, I talked and Dova said something like he was talking to them and like, yeah, but did you mistake my voice maybe? Look, people have done weirder things. I just roll with it.
Well, go ahead and restart, and we'll keep going.
Okay,
So,
do that.
We do
Go
have
ahead.
ethereal influence, Dova.
all right.
And Nier wants to add a point or two of HP that might save the, he says hawk form, but it was a falcon form for me.
Well, a single point will do it. As your focus is very rudely interrupted by a slashing pair of talons, which knock you off your perch and sort of tumble for a moment before finally sort of getting some air under your wings and flying back upwards. The hawk, which has knocked you off of its perch, is now circling around the clock tower, from what you can tell, giving you death stares. You have 1 HP.
I will fly off to somewhere, don't know where, but, you know, away from the hawk.
All right. As you start to circle over the actual, action, you're sure to steer clear of it.
Yeah.
Rock and Cobalt, you managed to make it rather uneventfully back to the ship in the docks. Although now you're aware that quite a few alarm bells are now going off in the town.
Can you hear me now, Digi?
Did you hear him talking?
No.
Well,
Tell him to check my
know.
volume slider.
Yeah, check his volume.
I never messed with anyone's volume, but okay.
Just right click, look at their volume, look if they're muted.
Actually,
Right there.
I'm never seeing the green circle come around as icon.
Uh-huh.
That's weird, because like we've been listening to him speak this whole time.
Yeah. Well, this is...
weird.
Yeah.
Alright,
Is he
guys.
blocked?
Oh?
I'm gonna restart my Discord real quick.
Worth
Don't
a shot.
say anything, but because they won't be able to
Hold
hear
on,
you.
I'm
But
gonna mute him and then unmute him.
sorry about the technical difficulties, everyone.
Oh,
Hey.
there's a green circle around him.
Testing.
Ah, I can hear you now.
There we
Hey.
go!
Wait, so you haven't been able to hear him this entire session?
No, I haven't.
Holy hell.
And you didn't question it when I didn't introduce the stream or anything,
I
or
wasn't here when
Dova
the stream
stopped.
started.
Oh, that's right. he
Oh
wasn't there.
yeah.
That's funny.
Sorry for talking over you, I guess.
You're
That was,
fine.
yeah.
That was just funny.
I was kind of in the state like, okay, what's going on right now?
I realized he
Eric's.
couldn't hear me when he, you know. Anyways. Did I notice the others, make their way away from this area?
Yes, you probably would have noticed some motion near your ship, and sort of you would have seen them from your vantage point.
Alright. I will keep an eye on Raku and Infeld then.
Alright.
Of course, steering clear of the hawk and any other angry birds.
All right.
If I see
would've
any
been-
giant slingshots, I'm gonna go straight to the ship and we're gonna sail away. But I just, you know.
Raku, go ahead.
Since Raku's like, I don't want to say proficiency with potions, but just his experience, he would have been keeping track of. He would have known that he only had an hour to do this, and would have been keeping track of that.
Yes.
and would stealthily make his way back to the ship when the potion was wearing off.
Very well. Infel.
Me.
I believe you're currently the only one still sort of in danger, as it were, as Raku is basically able to disappear through the alleyway and make his way back.
Well, he kind of has a job to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's doing it. He's doing his thing.
Infel. There are currently 3 very enthusiastic ghost hunting guards by your side. How do you get rid of them?
The men in white?
No, wannabe paladins.
When I grow up, I want to be just like you.
I'm a lizard, sir.
That's okay. That's what reincarnate is for.
Very good. Now get a sun rock and sleep during the day.
But seriously.
I'm probably gonna lead them around, instruct them to ask for anything that matches this detail. Disperse, but never go into an alley alone.
Oh, you're kidding.
They worship me now. Oh no.
The very enthusiastic and, well, protoplasm thirsty guards follow your instructions to the T and sort of stick together as one squad as they continue your will, even as you might manage to basically lose them next to an alleyway.
Yes. Great.
All right. And I'd say, are you trying to be sneaky at all as you make your way back to the ship, Infel?
Probably not. I'm just going to say, hold. I shall search for my companions and then explore a different part of town. Stay here where it was. Stay here. It's closer to where it was last seen.
All right. As you are nearing the airship, you start to hear the sounds of almost like a deep rumbling, along with the numerous bells of alarm. As actually, I think all of you would be able to see this at some point if you looked. There's a handful of small airships with a sort of orange-red glow emanating from them and yellowish spotlights shooting down into the city as they seem to be combing for whatever's caused this.
Ooh.
As you all make it back to the airship. Rather intact, and as far as you know, your mission flawlessly completed. Hell yeah, Rock. Gotham City.
When I get back to the airship, I'm gonna take notes of what exactly I went into this disguise, but I'm gonna burn it
All right.
as I use prestidigitation to clean the dyes off my scales.
Very well.
I will go collect Zell and our longboat and bring both of them back to the ship.
All right. He is a little bit inebriated. It seems that he might have gotten too into the spirit of sort of spreading the word and gotten a little hammered. Not too much though, and probably not enough to spoil any plans.
Infel will relay say what he accomplished as well.
Right.
Once he gets back.
In a sort of a post-heist meeting,
Debriefing.
you all debriefing. You all share your findings and deeds, and you would basically have knowledge of what everyone did during the assassination, if they wanted to share it. If you don't want to share any facts, just say so now.
Coming back out of disguise, I'm gonna yawn and go, oh.
Sorry, I didn't get what you said after the yawn.
I'm gonna go, huh, what happened? As I meet up with all of them, even though I clearly know that they all know that it was me.
Ah, Raku, what an eventful night. Truly, I witnessed a specter, of all things.
Oh. Man, I was just in my workshop all night. Man, I wish I could have seen that.
It
I
was
heard a
so
guy got murdered.
frightening. I lost it, however. Don't worry, I have a squad of other enthusiastic volunteers seeking it even now.
Could you give me a deception check?
I'm not deceiving
Do you-
you, I'm just being so sarcastic.
Do you want to try to pass this info?
Might as well.
Oh wait, that's athletics.
Is
One
Infill trying?
lower.
he's just lifting weights as he's
Hey!
lying.
Is Infill trying to deceive me?
This is gonna be an insight check, info.
Oh, I thought you asked for deception.
He did.
No.
Nova did ask for deception. I'm gonna be totally honest.
You want me to
Yeah,
roll
he
deception?
did.
Yes, Raku. Sorry, I was meaning, you could roll.
Wait, what's?
Try to.
Why the fuck do I have plus
Excuse
24?
me.
What have
What's
you
happening?
done?
What is happening here?
Double proficiency plus 13.
Apparently, you
Did you
have
it in
the
your
plus.
modifier?
Yeah.
Oh wait, is this modifier still? Oh, let's make sure that's still 0. Let's make sure.
Oh, wow.
it's-
I should not roll any checks for you because I just crit.
There we are.
Is it possible for you to roll above that in insight info?
I can match it in theory.
Go ahead and try. All right.
I mean, my base deception is 21.
High level rogues.
Actually broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Like,
you
it
don't say
seems-
anything.
Like, it seems fine on paper, except they have a ton of modifiers. But
Well, look, if someone's scrying us, this is a very convincing performance.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna order some tiramisu.
You should have been specific when you were asking for deception, though. I like that 18. Too bad, it's useless.
Koval gonna order some tiramisu from the lizardman.
Ooh. What is tiramisu?
Are you gonna get it from the trash
It's like,
can?
it's like layered. It's like really light cake layered with cream and covered with coffee powder
Ooh.
for a little bit of bitterness. It's like my favorite dessert. It's so good.
It's really good.
Do so. As is this a room service thing to the council, or are you actually stepping outside to get a meal?
No, he said he was telling the lizard folk, so in the mansion.
Oh yeah,
Oh wait, are we not in the mansion?
you are.
Okay.
But inside the actual meeting room, or
Well, the meeting room is my workshop, so that's in the mansion.
yes. Are you sitting in the dining room or still staying in the meeting room, Cobalt?
A meeting room with everyone.
As a plate is delivered shortly after you make the order, with the requested square layered dessert, along with a small fork on a tray.
And then immediately after I get my cake for almost no reason at all. I'm going to my room afterwards. Like it's like when you have a teenage kid and they kind of just like get the food and then leave, even though I ordered it specifically to the room.
Mhm.
I'm thinking of working on some more golems.
Yeah.
Cobalt is growing up so fast.
What's everybody else doing?
Rock's in his room, getting dressed and getting help cleaning. Trying to get help cleaning the blood off of his face.
I would
All right.
definitely help him out with prestidigitation.
All right.
Oh, he was just going to feed it to his plant.
You basically stick your face into the plant.
He does.
It makes a kind of a.
I was about to say
as
that.
it cleans your
Like,
face
kinda
off of
licks
the
him
blood.
I love my plant. It's a good plant.
He's just like, it's so great.
So, no bones about it. We basically have the plant from Little Shop Horrors.
Exactly.
Feed me, Rock.
He's a very good herpetologist.
Botanist.
There you go, botanist. That's good. One word.
Herpetologist.
It's
I
what
like that,
Rock would call it, though.
What's
Yeah.
words for books?
No,
No,
Rock
the-
would call it a herpetologist.
A leaf. He called it a leaf watcher.
Oh, and then he would go back to the library.
The place of books.
Yeah, the place of books.
Same night.
No, just a little bit late. Yeah, he would go back.
You guys would see Rock basically making his way towards the exit about an hour after you guys all settle down. If any of you want to. No? Alright.
What? I missed what you said.
You guys would all see Rock making his way to the exit in case you wanted to stop him.
No, not necessarily.
Alright. Did you make your way back to the library at
I guess
about
technically-
3 o'clock in the morning?
Technically, Raku is in his workshop, and what's that music?
I have no idea. It's
Little
coming
pet
from
shop
Zim.
hours.
I'm assuming that's... Oh.
Oh, god damn it.
See, I knew it was Zim because Zim wasn't asking who was making that noise.
Mm-mm.
Hey,
Welcome to the Little Shop of Horrors!
if somebody started playing this on the stream, I would not complain. I love this song.
Zim, hey, can you stop breathing so loud we can hear you? Also, Zim playing Little Shop of Horrors in the middle of the stream.
The dentist one is the best.
I like Rock Horror
Alright.
Picture Show. That's one of my favorites.
Let's get this ship fixed.
Alright. The next day comes. Actually, no. Rock. First, let's deal with this.
Yep.
You are basically walking through martial law. Well, not martial law, but a very, very heightened sense of state of security.
The aftermath of Raku
Yes.
in his glory
Rock.
days.
Yep.
Are you going to try to remain hidden?
No, his mission is he's just going out for a normal night stroll and just go to the library. To
Yeah,
get a book.
the mission is done. He doesn't really think about it anymore.
All right.
Job's accomplished.
Out of his mind.
High or low, Rock?
High,
All right.
because he's feeling pretty good about himself.
As you are gallivanting towards the library, I don't know if that's an actual verb, but it is for me.
It's a verb. I don't know if you're using it correctly.
Gallivanting. Yeah. Go around from one place to another in the pursuit of pleasure or entertainment.
All right, maybe that's actually. Never mind. I was wrong. I thought it meant something else.
I mean, I kind of did too. But anyways, you are you're confronted by two guards, somewhat haggard looking, bags under their eyes and uniforms hastily put on. They basically hold their spears rather tightly across their chests and call out to you. Halt! Why are you out so late?
I'm a kobold.
I look at him perplexed, like, what's the...
Late? It's only midnight.
Yeah. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. This is early.
You're a nocturnal species. They don't know that.
Rock's gonna go, place of books.
You didn't answer my question. As the other guard looks at the one who's speaking with a little bit of confusion.
Rock did. He asked, this late, place of books.
They look at each other. The library. You talk of the library.
I nod.
Why are you going to the library in the middle of the night?
What else
just
are you supposed to do?
We're reading?
He looks at your armor, as well as the axe that's sort of slung near your hips.
Are you rolling for racism? And whether they immediately accuse him or not?
It's the suspicion level, don't you understand?
This is... Oh, Christ.
You've been saying that a lot.
And just remember, my disguise was specifically built to mask being a kobold.
Mm. You can hear them sort of whispering to each other. From what you can tell, Rock, they are intensely debating the fact that whatever was on was most definitely not a kobold. And then the one who hasn't been talking brings up the fact that kobolds are nocturnal, probably. Eventually turns back to you and says, "The library is not open this late. Come back in the morning."
Late? Don't you mean early?
There's pure sadness in Rock's eyes.
He just learned how to read. He wants to enjoy it.
Yeah. Rock, if allowed, he would actually go to the library and just camp out front of the door.
Just wait.
Just wait. He'll actually go like, I'll wait.
Guards sort of just shake their heads as you see the one of the spotlights sort of sweep over you for a moment, lingering. The guards sort of look towards each other, look back up towards the airship, and basically one of them hands the spear to the other and holds their arms in the air in a small cross as the beam swivels away, going somewhere else. He sort of grabs his spear back and says to you, Stay out of trouble tonight.
Big grin. And just nods as he just happily trots along.
Alright.
Like he never murdered anybody in his life.
No, that's DC at 30, right?
As you basically camp out just in front of the library, you're harassed by guards like at least 5 or 6 more times, both leading to about the same result of them begrudgingly leaving you alone. Are you going to actually go to sleep?
He's gonna stay up as late until like he sees the first person to come to open the shop, get his thing, and then go back to bed. But he's gonna wait up all night.
All right.
But he's also
you're going.
But he's gonna keep an eye on how the guards are moving and take mental notes.
Okay.
Not obviously, just kind of like watching things go around. There's movement. He's attracted movement, like a T-Rex.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll an investigation check to sort of put all the pieces together as you watch.
That makes sense.
You're really unable to pay attention as some of the adrenaline sort of left your system and sort of left you in a daze. You manage to watch, but you can barely hold your eyes open as you nearly drift off. You're awakened to the sound of a heavy clunking in the front door by one of the librarians that you recognize.
Big, warm, smiley, toothy grin.
Librarian kind of looks at you, sighs, and enters the front door, closing it behind them. About 10 minutes later, the front door unlocks again, and it opens briefly for the librarian to poke his head out, look at you, sort of grimace, and then close the door behind him, leaving it unlocked. It is currently dawn right now, though.
Rock's gonna walk in.
All right. It is
And,
completely empty aside from a handful of librarians and you.
He's gonna get a book on. He's gonna get 3 books. He's gonna get a book on nursery rhymes. He's gonna get a book on like a weather book, and he's gonna get a book on the ocean, and he's gonna actually return the book on the town.
Do you have any other books checked out right now?
Oh, he has many, but he's only returning the one.
Here, you gotta keep track of your library card.
Yeah, I got a note.
Okay. So how many books do you have checked out after you return that one?
I think you said, if my note's right, he had 6 books checked out on Schultz and all that. He had the 1 book on the town's history, which is he's returning. And then he's got the 3 books that he has right now.
The librarian, just sighing as he sees you approaching with 3 more books, begrudgingly checks you out, or checks the books out. You know that the limit seems to be 10 from what you can see on your library card. Looks at you again. Is sort of grinning and speaking through his teeth. I trust that you'll get these back before they're due.
He's just blinking at him as he takes the books and walks away.
All right. You hear another beleaguered sigh behind you as you leave.
I'm gonna cause these librarians to drink.
You're the reason for their drinking.
You notice one isn't there anymore as they retired.
Rock has done his job. He has left an imprint.
They resigned.
Specifically the one that helped you fill out your form.
He was not. They were not meant to be true librarians then.
They were not strong enough to library.
Is that how that works?
He learned how to read. There is new horrors on this land now.
Dova, every once in a while, the gods give us tests of our faith.
Rock is one of them.
Yes, it is. The test
Indeed,
of rock.
he's a test. He is a test in many different ways, to many different people.
Apparently, Raku is a huge fucking test for this whole town. Is there a increase in the number of people at Temple the next day?
Well, that one guy that you speak probably there.
Yeah, there would probably be a handful of those guards, basically just hanging out.
From now on, every moment is a gift.
So, it is now morning for those of you who did not spend a very late night out. What are you guys going to do today? And by guys, I mean Raku, Cobalt, Eric's, and Infel.
I'm going to grab Eric's and go to the Zentarum outpost.
I need golem supplies, so I'm gonna buy some magic stuff. Or I guess maybe not. Hold on, let me check my fundage. I don't have a whole lot.
I don't know how to handle this. What sort of materials are you looking for? What's Cobalt planning?
Well, first of all, I have the manual of golems, which tells me how much it would take. Stone. Give me a sec. Oh, those are just images. Because it tells me. Oh, I gotta open up the modules. the golem books tell me like how much money it would take to make a golem. So I was just gonna check that, but apparently I need the DM guide module open. Go to someone else first.
Eric's, what are you doing? Oh yeah, you guys are going down to the Zentarum place in a bit. Infel.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm probably gonna go right back to that hospital and make sure things are okay. Like, hey, have you heard the news? Don't worry, I'll stay here and secure the place.
Okay.
And just do some more volunteer work, but hopefully my presence will put the patients at ease. You don't heal well when you're nervous.
Oh, I should probably rest you. That would help in tracking your
For a second
spell.
there, I thought you said you should probably arrest us.
Oh, I probably should.
They did commit murder.
You did.
I mean,
For the first time.
I did no such thing.
I mean, Raku terrorized the town, but I guess not even Scrying could have figured that out. Man, I would love to see Raku like in an in an interrogation room.
Go ahead. Go ahead and make a medicine check, Infel, unless you want to take 10 on it.
Nah, I'm trading my medicine.
Alright.
Ah,
Very nice. So,
I impress the doctors.
a man is admitted about a week or so ago for a strange set of symptoms. He's feeling unwell. Whenever they sort of draw blood to examine it, it's almost foul, even acidic sometimes. You're aware that this can be caused by one thing. It's very, very rare, but it's actually a sort of magical parasite, a fey creature sort of thing. It doesn't seem that anyone at the temple knows about this, but you do. How would you go about removing it? It seems to be adjacent to one of his lungs. And it's a small sort of integrated, almost like another organ, providing
fairy
some...
cancer.
Not necessarily.
Fairy cancer.
Tell me about this parasite. You said it's fey in origin, but does it have any sentience?
Very limited, it seems. It's more of an animal than an actual fairy.
You could try combining your channel your turn undead with protection from evil and good, which affects Fey.
I don't think I have turn undead actually. Let me check.
Turn undead isn't a spell; it's your channel divinity.
Oh,
Paladins get channel divinity, right? I'm not just imagining.
I
this.
do not believe they do.
Seriously? Huh.
Yes, they do.
Doesn't-
They get a particular. They get their own little things that they can do.
They
with
get
it.
their oath spells.
I could have sworn they also had like turn undead.
Oh, it is.
as
You
a
just
channel
don't have
divinity.
it in your features.
It
Oh.
depends on the domain,
has-
right?
He has it. He just well, as far as clerics go, every domain has turn undead, and they also have an additional channel divinity that they can use.
You went with Oath of the Ancients, didn't you?
I didn't.
Then your channel
believe he would have it.
divinity, yeah, you do have channel divinity. It just gives you 2 options as a 3rd level.
So he's had this whole time.
You will, unfortunately, there is a bug in Fantasy Grounds with the module where they actually list the channel divinity options for one of the other oaths instead of the Oath of the Ancients.
This is Oath of Vengeance.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as what you can do... Oh yeah, it turned right to it. Well, close to it.
Nice.
Let's see, this page. Aha. With your channel divinity, you've got Nature's Wrath. You can use your channel divinity to invoke primeval forces to ensnare a foe. And then you've got Turn the Faithless. You can use your channel divinity to utter ancient words that are painful for Fae and Fiends to hear.
Oh, nice. That might actually be what you need.
Yeah, he can't use, he doesn't have Turn Undead. Instead, he basically has Turn Fiends and Fae.
I guess Turn Undead is just like a cleric thing, mainly. I tried to combine mainly and mostly, like 3 times.
No? I think I'd use that.
I do remember you saying Turn the Faithless.
Turn the Faithless, then.
Let's try it.
All right.
You Fae son of a bitch, what are you doing over here? Ow, my ears.
Get the fuck out.
Ow, my ears, it hurts.
Oh no, my spectral ears. My special spectral ears.
There is a problem. You still need to actually open him up.
Yeah, I'd
Well,
probably
we have a
like
sword.
ask for a scalpel.
All right. As you've sort of built up a
I need to-
reputation for, your medical abilities, you manage to get him into a surgical theater and start.
Yeah, I need to.
Garrett? That's all right.
I need to first cut an exit path before I excise this thing.
Eric's on surgery training?
Really now?
Yeah. He's got several books that he's gone and read through all of them, book cover to cover.
Oh.
You forget about that?
Yeah, you read a lot of books.
Maybe you should give some of them to Intel.
Maybe you should... I mean, I guess it's too late to help him now.
Anyways,
Anyway, I know what the location of this thing is, so cutting
yes.
a path for it shouldn't be too difficult. He'd probably make several very light strikes. Best to be 2 shallow than 2 deep.
I think the word you're looking for is incision.
Incision.
Yes.
You might not want to strike this man.
True. That would ruin my reputation.
It's like RimWorld surgery.
Just grab a sword.
Oh
All right,
shit! I
let's start
amputated the
surgery.
wrong leg. Anyways,
Well, now you won't get.
you
licked twice.
make a series of short incisions, making sure to open a path. As you place your hands on his unconscious chest, and he's been knocked out by a mixture of various herbs that the doctors keep on hand for stuff like this. As you channel your divine energy into the area, there's a sickening, almost a crunching noise as this thing lets loose from the man's chest. There's a disgusting wet sort of squelch as it forces its way out of his chest. Infel.
Yes.
At about this time, you feel a very, very uncomfortable sensation within your own chest. However, it's lowered down, just below your diaphragm. As you feel something shifting around in there as well as you... could you give me a Constitution check?
Yes, I can. No,
I didn't
lucky.
Know I didn't know fairy cancer was contagious.
God damn it.
There you go.
Did Rob?
Your luck, my god.
It's gonna be a theme now, dude. I need lucky. But it's not gonna be enough.
Clenching down with your abdominal muscles, you manage to sort of keep whatever is in there in one place for a brief moment as the growth finally dislodges itself from the man's chest.
Ah, I was going to puke.
Mm-hmm. As you almost, or as you sort of retch slightly, you finally get a good look at it. It's about the size of maybe a squirrel, with about 100 or so small tendrils sort of whipping out to either direction, as a few of them sort of join together, forming a membrane as they sort of fly upwards.
Yeah.
With a very heavy sort of buzzing noise akin to a very large June bug, or maybe a beetle.
Yeah, I'm killing this thing now.
Right. Go ahead and give me a roll to attack as it basically darts off towards one of the other assistants.
Holy smokes.
I've got one more. Oh my god.
Alright. That will hit. As with one Actually, would you use your sword or the scalpel?
Well, I'd imagine I've got my sword at my waist, like, because I know what this is.
Yeah,
Fair
this is
enough.
a
Fey
thing.
thing.
As it darts off towards one of the other assistants, she kind of backs away, holding her hands up, bringing her hands up instinctually to shield herself. As a bright white blade cleanly slices it in half in midair. One half of it sort of bouncing against her head, the other half careening off to the floor and rolling to a halt just next to the wall.
He purged.
There is an absolutely foul stink as the trail of toxins that it left behind within the man's chest is sort of left open in the air. As the nurse who was almost hit by it sort of retches, stumbles back, and eventually sort of calms herself down with the aid of another nurse, sort of patting her her vestments down and wiping a little bit of the vile sort of poison off of her cheek.
I'd like to get both halves of this thing, put them in a corner, and cast Moonbeam to annihilate every trace of it.
All right.
Like
As you
burning
sort of bringing it to one of the corners of the room, and using your divine energy to basically scour it. After a brief moment of extreme bright light and a sort of humming, sizzling sound, eventually there's a sort of shriveling, husked scream as the remains of it just basically disintegrate into ash.
Yeah, I
Leaving
knew
nothing
it
but
wasn't
a-
dead.
leaving nothing but a very heavily scorched spot on the ground. It's a stone floor, so no worries about it burning.
Also, on a note, a shape changer has disadvantage of saving throws on this thing, on the spell.
Would you look at that?
That moon magic.
So I'm just gonna make sure they're cleaned off, nobody's poisoned before we start healing this man and patching him up.
All right. It doesn't seem that anyone was hurt. Whatever poison was sort of left on the nurse who was almost hit has been cleaned up. Everyone seems to have regained their composure after seeing something as strange as this.
Boy, I bet they're so happy I'm here.
Oh yes. Like, they were watching with quite a bit of fear and apprehension while you were doing this. But after it, they seemed to act with an air of reverence towards you.
Paladins, man.
As you clean up, and you're going to heal up the wound as well.
After I make sure he's not inflicted with any toxins. It's
Uh,
removed from him, but its effects may linger.
yes, and it seems that it's no worse than it was before. It'll just sort of seep out over time.
Alright, he'll be better with time. And I suppose I'll stitch him up and heal the wound. It's better
Alright.
when it's easier to heal, I'd imagine, when it's not gaping.
Yes, quite easily. As you sort of close up the wound, put a little healing magic into it so it accelerates the healing process, and sort of hand him back off to the nurses who bring him to a recovery room, presumably. You resheath your sword, and one of the doctors who is sort of overseeing from a stand of observation comes up and says to you, That was some of the more fine work that I've seen done here. Where did you receive your training, Lizard Man?
Well, as a protector of the good faith, I took it upon myself to study on my own. I've also
Self-taught.
Well, Saloon has instructed her paladins to be versatile because not everything can be healed with magic.
I see.
Magic is helpful, but I've also seen plague work, and I've had some field training at other medical facilities also. I believe I've done good work there also.
Well, it's good that you've passed through, and you have my gratitude for that. If you have the time, would you be willing to pass off some of this knowledge to us?
Of course. And you can show me what you've got in turn. I'm by no means an expert in every field.
Wonderful. I'll gladly work with you. As you spend the day...
I think I found what Intel's going to be doing during the airship repair period. Training medicine.
And Cobalt, you did see the prices offered on the manual of golems?
So my
the price was lowered quite a bit from in your previous work, as you basically used a lot of the material from the stone golem that you killed and then salvaged. However, to make an entirely new one, you will probably need...
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you hear what I said?
You cut off for most of it.
Okay, well, my fantasy ground's like super crashed, and I had to use Task Manager to get rid of it.
Ooh.
It also says my name is currently in use, so I figure that's something you have to help me with.
Sure.
Give it a minute. The same thing happened to me earlier.
I can't seem to be connecting. Anyway, what are you saying?
So you saw the prices offered in the manual of golems?
I was not, because my fantasy grounds crashed.
A stone golem will cost 80,000 gold, as mentioned by that. The reason that it was low and affordable for you the last time was because the you used basically all of the material from the golem that you killed and then salvaged.
Okay. That's a lot of money. I guess I'm going to... You know what? I'm going to stick with small golems for now. I'm going to keep practicing. I'm pretty sure I have some leftovers still from that really big one, because I still wasn't all that big.
I'd say, yeah, with the materials that you have left, you could probably get it down to 50,000.
I don't have that kind of money either. No, I'm saying I'm going to practice with small ones instead of building a new one, a big one.
Okay.
And I'm also going to work on like transferring souls between gemstones.
All right. What souls are you going to actually be working with?
I guess like if I find some mice or small animals in the wild or something. I still have a bucket of quartz.
Okay. Do you have an ability to actually capture those souls?
I think I just used the tuner before. I don't think the ability to capture, like, I don't think there's a spell that allows you to do any of that.
All right.
I mean, if there was a spell that let me do something like that, then I might have tried to get it, but there's not.
All right. You spend a few hours looking for mice and rats in the various alleyways of the city. Go ahead and make an Arcana check with disadvantage with the tuner.
Okay. Hey.
Wow.
Tova.
Yeah.
Just for fun, I'm gonna spend a lucky point and take that 20.
God damn it. Alright. As basically the first mouse you see, you sort of reach out with it with the tuner, plucking a rather complex sequence of notes, almost by heart, as you're sort of having flashbacks to doing it within the usurper. And after you do so, you manage to capture what you believe to be a soul within the piece of quartz. You sort of look at the quartz. You look at the quartz through the tuner, and you see that it seems to have essence of a soul within it. However, you look back toward the mouse, and it seems to still be alive.
Hmm. Does it look like a zombie movements, or does it seem like just normal?
Looking at it from the distance that you're at, you sort of had to stay back here to avoid scaring it.
I pull out my telescope.
You're now rodent watching inside of an alleyway. You hear a child laugh from behind you as a mother and child are walking by. Yeah, the child sort of points, laughing, and the mother sort of pulls him along.
Steal their souls.
Magic, bitch.
As far as you can tell, the mouse has not really been affected that much.
Interesting. I guess if it works this way, then I will never be good enough to literally rip a soul out of something and kill it, and thereby break the game. So perhaps this is for the better.
That might be true.
It's like Finger of Death.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is good enough for me. I accomplished more than I thought I would. I might try to grab one more. It's always good to have a backup. Do you want me to make another Arcana check?
Yes, please. This time with the you get it. God damn it.
This wasn't over 25 this time. The first one was 26.
Still. All right, as you make your way back with 2 mice souls.
Hey, Koval, where are you? I've been collecting souls.
Well, no.
Koval, no. Koval, yes.
Rock approves of this.
Oh, you stole my soul!
I wonder if I could give Rockworks plants a soul. I'd probably just start acting like a mouse.
Don't be touching my plant.
I wouldn't be touching it.
You're gonna try to replace the soul in the plant with a mouse.
There's already soul in the plant?
I'm not saying that there is.
But if there was. Nah. If there's already a soul in it, then there's no point in trying.
I didn't say that there was a soul in it.
Right. Well, I'm still just gonna make some mouse golems.
Some mouse golems?
Yes.
Alright. As you spend a few days fucking around with small golems, small, very, very skittish golems, who eventually come to like you only when you're giving them small pebbles of yeah.
Oh, one of the days I'm gonna show this off to Shuluth, because I'm so proud of it, and he likes magic stuff, so I think he'd like it. And then anyone else can come with me if they'd want.
Before that, We'll go
Yeah.
ahead and deal with since that's probably going to happen at the very end of the waiting time.
Mhm.
Raku and Erix, you make your way down to the Zentarum outpost. As you are led in, you finally make your way down and find the wiry man with spectacles, who is your supposed contact, basically lying back in his chair, seemingly unconscious. As you look around the room, you see a empty bottle of what looks to be a high-grade liquor. He quietly snores,
I'm going
completely
to poke him.
unaware. Nothing happens.
Stab him.
I'm gonna slap him.
It's like poke plus.
Oh my god. This man may as well be dead. He is that much of a heavy sleeper.
Oh. I thought you meant like the slap might as well have killed him.
Eric, do you have anything to wake him up?
Nothing that comes to mind. I mean, I guess I could try lesser restoration.
Cure his drunken stupor.
Do note that lesser restoration does not help with hangovers.
I'm gonna push the chair over.
Alright. So you basically reach forward. Are you going to tip him over backwards or over sideways?
Just break
Sideways.
Just break to the legs.
Alright. As you push up with all your strength, you start to move it sideways, and eventually, what's your strength?
Is it 17? I'm AFK right now.
Good God, you have high strength.
I know, right?
You manage to eventually and push him over sideways as he tumbles to the ground, sort of flailing a little bit as he wakes up, coughing and sputtering. Oh, it's you two.
Rise and shine, cupcake.
As he slowly starts to get up, kind of looking around, confused, looks at you and kind of gives a disconnected smile. Oh, sorry, I was. Oof. I just had a little bit of a drink, considering, you know. Congratulations, you did it.
Yep.
Here,
awesome.
have a drink. As he sees the empty bottle. Never mind.
Nope. I'm good on the drink, but I would like some paperwork to get our airship in the front.
Yeah. I got in touch with the guy a few hours ago. That was pretty crazy what you did with the with like the boogeyman. That was cool. I really enjoy that.
All right. Well, I'm glad.
As he slowly puts his chair back in its previous position and kind of shakily sits back down. But yeah. I got paperwork for you somewhere. As he sort of clumsily ruffles around whatever his cluttered desk. Here. This is it's like it's like a receipt. The address is on here too. You bring the ship there, bring this to this address, and you'll be good to go.
Awesome. I'm gonna take the paper.
Is he?
All right. Night.
As you make your way out, he basically just collapses back down in his chair, his head just leaning on the backrest. As you're walking out, sort of walking up the steps, you faintly hear him muttering and humming a drinking song of some sort.
I'm going to not care about him and keep walking.
All right.
And I'm going to assume me and Eric's head back to the ship to get it dry docked to start working.
Yes. Bringing the receipt to the address listed. It's actually one of the dry docks on the the docks, but it is a magnificent, almost compound. There's a very large anchoring point, basically a pole with multiple sets of ladders, platforms, and places for airships to dock. Currently, there's about 5 or 6 of them docked. There's basically 3 distinct models, a small, fast one, sort of middle of the road as far as you can tell, and a extremely large warship-looking one. Each of them roughly the same style of yours, below the metal sort of embellishments.
Raku's going to eye at the large warship and thinking in his head ways of stealing it, and then just kind of shaking it off.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
In addition to that, there's also a very, very large tower, at least maybe 20 or 30 stories high, with multiple sort of rigging for sort of scaffolds surrounding these airships as they're worked on in midair, sort of a midair dock. There is actually one of the dry docks open, from what you can tell, just sort of looking and seeing empty space as opposed to something in there. And as you make your way into the lobby, you're greeted by the seal of the... I should keep this note open.
I'm gonna pull out my club and club the seal.
God damn it. You're greeted by the seal of the Numirotsi family. What looks to be a bat with a harpoon sort of in the background, with a few embellishments, some vines, some olive branches, and a rather fancy-looking border on the wall behind the receptionist. The lobby itself is very richly, lavishly decorated, and the receptionist looks like she could not care less.
First off, Raku's going to jot down a note and copy that seal. So he's going to use it later when he wants to make something fake.
Could you give me a sleight of hand check?
I can. Let me come back from the kitchen for a second.
I forget that you're not even at the desk for a lot of the time.
There we are. 23.
Okay. You basically managed to...
I take a picture of it.
God damn it. That was mostly to hide it, since copying something like that might be viewed as a faux pas.
I mean, if this is like a reception area and I'm just sitting there writing, then I'm sure that a lot of people do paperwork in here.
That's true. You could probably disguise it, but something like that.
Do you want me to not roll a stealth check?
You should be fine with that.
So
As you would manage to get it. Yeah, you would manage to get it written down.
All right.
So, the receptionist seems to be writing on some sort of ledger at the moment. Basically looks at you above her half glasses as you arrive, and then looks back down at the ledger.
I'm gonna stare at her.
She continues writing.
I'm gonna keep staring until she makes contact, then makes her uncomfortable.
I'm trying to roll. Give me a sec. Nerves of steel. It looks like she's been professionally trained to not give a shit.
Raku's gonna kind of put a fist to his mouth and go,
She gives a very irritated sigh, looks up to you, and says, "Did you need anything?"
"Oh yes, hello. I needed to get my airship repaired." I'm gonna give her the paperwork.
She looks at the paperwork, reads it over, looks at the name, looks back up to you. "Very well, Mr. Thimblestrap."
Yes, thank you.
And she sort of taps it on the desk and files it away. "Your ship will be in the wet dock within the hour, else I will skip over you and move to the next spot."
Where do we need to place it for staging?
"Bring it in front of the harbor, in front of our docks. We will open it for you and you will bring it in."
Alright, thank you.
She goes back to writing in her ledger.
I'm gonna grab Captain Eric's and go back to the ship.
Alright. It's a somewhat lengthy walk and takes you about 20 minutes to get back to the ship. Realizing the predicament you're in regards to time, might be a good idea to rush.
Okay.
We will.
You should have
Roll
brought
for
Cobalt
rush.
with you.
Running at your, or operating as fast as you possibly can, getting undocked, moved in the harbor, getting a small tow at the beginning, and then moving under your own power for a little while. You make it into the wet dock with minutes to spare. All right.
Well, we had minutes to begin with. We have minutes to spare, so I think we're okay.
There we go. As the practice repair teams start to work on the around the airship, refurbishing and reinstalling some what look to be small silver nodes, as well as doing quite a lot of work in basically a broom closet on the lower decks. You all know and have known that it's where the actual floating happens, but it's been very clearly marked so that you don't enter it unless you risk, dismemberment and also possibly disintegration. As the repairs are now underway. Cobalt, you said exactly what you're doing during this whole time, as well as Infel. What about you, Eric's, Rock, and Raku? You've got about 3 days to burn.
Let me, I got a question, but let me message it to you.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, I know it, and then just give me a second as I say it to you out loud. I'm gonna go around the town, I guess, to the college because they are aware of me, making sure to wear my fancy clothes, and then maybe to the Zentarum because I'm trying to find. I'm thinking probably mostly the college because I want to enchant Charla.
Okay.
Find someone to commission an enchantment from.
What sort of an enchantment?
I essentially was just gonna, I guess, hear whatever they had to say, and then talk with Charla and kind of decide because I want to let her have a decision in it. Something that definitely makes her rounds in like magical ammo.
Okay.
Maybe something that'd probably be super expensive. I don't know. Maybe I'm sure it'd probably be difficult to find something that makes it unlimited ammo like my bow. Maybe an enchantment that reduces the amount of rounds. Maybe like one round gives me 2 shots or something. I don't know.
You can speak to our good friend
Shalith is gonna
Jimmy.
point me to Jeremy, and then I'm gonna
I know.
punch Jeremy. So
Hey, kill 2 birds with 1 stone with 1 trip.
yeah, I know, but then Charlotte's gonna die at some point. It's gonna have some kind of demon take over her.
Oh, well then get the enchantment, then punch him.
Also, I'd like to remind everyone that I somehow count for 2 lives, so maybe we might want to talk about that sometime.
What?
Yeah, on the counter for the mansion.
No, yeah, we already talked about that, and we already confronted Jeremy about that.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
Did you
not
ever
going
find
for.
out what that was?
Yeah, it was just his freaking discounted spells had some kind of spirit living in there that helped with the.
No, intel specifically.
No, yeah, he told us. I'm just trying to paraphrase it because I don't.
No.
That was months ago.
I believe that was the answer to a different question.
Yeah.
Was it? Sorry.
Apparently, whenever NFL enters or exits, it counts as 2 people.
Oh, I
kinda
didn't know that.
We just kind of glazed over that.
Oh,
It didn't really seem important at the time.
maybe I wasn't there for that. I don't remember.
That's possible.
So yeah, that's what Roku is going to be doing.
All right. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
I can do that. $30.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that an impossible DC?
You hear rumors of an ordnance sort of master.
Another one.
Makes cannons. This one seems to be actually level-headed from what you have been, hearing about.
Yeah.
Upon meeting him, he seems to be an old military man, half-elf, rigid in stature, and where his clothes are pristine and perfect. The interior of his shop smells of gunpowder and sulfur, while also being nearly spotless on the inside. And what do you need from me?
I'm gonna draw Charla from my quiver, and I'm supposing that she also says hello.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say that we would like to find some sort of enchantment fitting for her.
And what sort of enchantment do you have in mind? As he takes Charla into his hands,
I begrudgingly.
She sort of squeaks as he gets rather handsy.
Well, I'm holding it, and when he reaches for her, I'm gonna have a grip and begrudgingly hand her over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna explain something that I at least considers the rounds enchanted, I guess, mechanically speaking, for damage, make it a magical weapon, and maybe something for extending the life of ammunition or making it more. I can't think of it right now.
Efficient?
Perhaps
Yeah,
like
more
your
efficient
bow.
ammunition.
Maybe.
I would explain like that, but not expecting it to be like that.
For a full ammunition conversion, I would
Yeah.
expect it to take maybe 15 days. The expense of about maybe 30,000. However, I can do some work to lengthen your supply of ammo. I've done that before. For 10,000, which would include a general magic being applied to each round. And that would take much less time, maybe 4 days.
I'm gonna ask Charlotte if she would be okay with being left with him for that time for either one of those, the 15 or the shorter, while the enchantment's taking place.
Charla, how? What's like how I'm trying to phrase this. How not safe for work can I be right now, Eric's?
You'd have to ask Rob about that one.
Well, yeah.
That's who he is asking.
Oh, right.
Preferably, just keep it clean-ish.
Okay. I will do that. As Charla responds, almost short of breath. Well, I think I could. Oh, don't touch me there. That would be fine with me. As he's
The
as
guy's
he's
getting
kind of
flustered.
Yes, she is. It seems that she's enjoying this massage.
Oh. All right.
Perhaps we should leave.
How about the full ammo conversion for 25,000?
And why should I give it to you for 25?
Who else is coming in here for a musket conversion? Especially with a talking musket, that must be something new for you to work on too.
Well, novelty does not pay my rent. Neither does it buy materials. Could you give me a persuasion check, actually?
Yeah.
You mean diplomacy?
17.
There is no diplomacy.
Mm-hmm. Briefly afterwards, he sort of turns Charla over a few times and says, although I may make an exception, I haven't worked with this manufacturer before. Yes. 25.
All right. Let me see here.
You have a permanent address in this city?
I'm going to give him the address to the boat the enchanted one.
All right.
Or to the mansion.
As you actually hand it over to him, you can see it sort of change in your hand, reflecting an address somewhere within the city, actually.
I guess I'm gonna shrug.
It doesn't seem that he's noticed.
Kind of curse in my head. Jeremy, this better work.
You can certainly do that, though.
Yeah, that's he's definitely doing that.
All right. As you hand Charla over and the 25,000 gold pieces, he says, well, since I'm shipping this, I will need to take the payment up front.
All right. Let me see here.
If you want to come in later to retrieve it, then I'll take half now and half after.
Let me see, because I have about 2,200 platinum pieces, and then I have some gems.
What sort of gems do you have?
Like I can't. Let me see. I have a yellow sapphire that's worth 1,000. Can I pull anything from Shrek? I have. Wait. What's?
I don't know how much the airship costs are going to be.
How much do you need?
I need about 2,000 more.
Oh, Eric's and Raku, you would know this, but on the receipt, the payments have actually already been received, so you won't be paying anything aside from any unforeseen fees.
Alright, how much do you need?
Just 3,000 more.
Just.
So 300 platinum?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I mean, I spent 10 grand on that mansion.
Happy birthday.
Awesome, okay. And then I can just, I don't have to trade out that sapphire. I have the 3,200 platinum, so that's paid. Or the 2,200 platinum, so that's 25.
All right, go ahead and mark down all the money.
I did.
As he sorts all the money into the one of the strong boxes he has in the back, he eventually returns with a handwritten, signed, and stamped receipt, which he hands to you.
I'm gonna thank him, then I'm gonna kind of glare at Charlotte and say, "Don't have too much fun."
There's a strange sort of feeling as you look at her, and you can almost tell that she's blushing and sort of looking down in guilt.
The oil's rising through the stock, which I
You're
would
gonna
assume.
have to, yeah, you're gonna probably have to put on another coat afterwards.
And that's not supposed to. That's not supposed to be anything bad. That's what happens when, like, an older wooden firearm is shot. If it has like preserving oil, when it gets hotter, the oil comes out of the wood.
Yep. I refinished a really crappily lacquered Mosin with some linseed oil, and it seeps.
Nice. Yeah, that's how my Car 98 was. You just got to leave it out in the sun for a little while, and it'll dry up. It'll look a lot better. It doesn't look greasy.
Oh yeah. Anyways, we shall continue onwards after dealing with innuendos. Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Spending. How are you going to do that, Rock?
Good question. Just getting in touch with himself, and in the same sense of bomb sniffing dogs are trained. He'll
How are
take
they
part.
trained?
They're take the way they are trained is they'll take let's say like gunpowder, and they'll hide them in separate sections, various distances, and then have the dog track it, and it gets used to that smell, and then he would just do that with different stuff.
Okay. I'd say you wouldn't be able to get that feat. That. I'd say you would not be able to get that. However, note it down that you have that sort of sensitivity, sort of self-training. And if anything comes up relating to smell, just be sure to tell me so I can take that into account.
Will do.
All right. And you did say you wanted to speak to someone.
Yes.
It eventually does speak back, almost begrudgingly, in a very slow, sort of deep voice. And as you're still tired from the time at the library, you
Feed me,
almost mistake this. You almost mistake it as a hallucination at first, as it says, "You don't normally talk to me. What is it this time?"
He would just we did good back there. We should do more like that some more times.
Is that a promise?
Just a wide smile and a nod.
Would appreciate that. Though, when the time came, I felt an itch on the back of my neck, like someone saw.
I narrow my eyes. I'll keep an eye out for that.
It'd be best if you did.
I know how you don't like to be bothered.
Just do more of what you did today, and I shall stay happy and willing.
Just smiles wide, so just my normal day-to-day routines.
He does not respond as you sort of sense his awareness sort of go back into he sort of goes back asleep.
Tails wagging happily as he's going back and doing his normal thing.
What spells are on your wish list, Kobold?
I think I sent it to you in Discord. Let me check.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you see it. And you also have a list of all the spells that I can give.
Okay. As you are just about to go to the hidden city, there's a small thunk in the mailbox.
I grab it excitedly.
All right. It is a letter. It's actually 2 sheets. The first sheet, as you're reading through it, is a small sort of a notice saying, "Hello, former member of Enchanting Incantations. We apologize to inform you that the institution is going through a few changes. Thankfully, your service will in no way be changed. However, due to some restructurings, the company has been rebranded and renamed.
Thank God. I mean,
What was now known as Enchanting Incantations is now known as
Incantations of Enchantment.
School of
Je-
Dance.
Jeremy's serendipitous spells.
Jeremy's almost decent discount spells.
no.
He's expanding.
It is now known as the Sorceress Salon.
Interesting.
That sounds like a brothel.
Is it an all-girl school?
Sorcerers don't have spell books.
Well, the salon is also...
Oh, I thought you said Sorceress Salon.
Sorcerers.
Yeah. Oh, the sorceresses. I mean... But yes. Originally and in this setting, a salon has the meaning of basically a meeting house for philosophers to meet, to discuss things, and to generally just... Yeah.
That name still sounds like a brothel.
Bring it up with their complaints department, man. Anyways. The letter ends there, and the second letter features new stationery.
Is it nicer?
No.
Oh.
It's about the same exact stationery except with a different name. It says, "Congratulations. We've found a willing donor for one of your requested spells. The request in question is a spell to breathe water.
Nice.
It includes a meeting date in 3 days' time. So about 2 days after the completion of the airship.
All right. I will definitely keep that in mind. And remember to do it.
Alright.
So for now, I'm going to... now I'm going to go to Shuluth.
Alright.
I think that's what you said I was on my way to do, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Eric's, I don't believe you would have seen this letter unless you showed him, Cobalt.
No, I wouldn't have. That was just me being silly.
Actually draws in the angry face as well.
Yeah. Making fun of super overprotective parents.
Aww.
That school is the reason the child Cobalt went out to murder somebody. I mean, yes, he is so disappointed.
Oops. Wrong day. There's the right day.
Ta-da.
So, your meeting is going to be on the 20th. So, the winter solstice, actually.
Oh, cool.
As the airship is finally finishing up. Eric's, did you figure out what you were going to do over the time?
I have no idea. Because now, I mean, it's 3 days.
Yeah. There are some patches of forest in the scrubland surrounding the city. If you want to make a trek out there, maybe meditate. There are a few parks in the city as well.
I'll head out of the city.
All right.
Well, you said it was the winter solstice?
Winter solstice is 2 days from now.
Oh, okay.
Today is the 18th of Nighthall. The winter solstice is on the 20th.
I want to check around the city if there's any bulletins for like bounties on rogue, like witches or arcane users practicing dark magic on the solstice.
There doesn't seem to be anything in that regard. However, there's a lot of notices of sort of holiday parties, as well as a rather strongly worded letter from the Hall of Justice and the city guard to disregard any rumors regarding the servant in white.
Hey, Dova.
Oh man, because even before I got to that one, as soon as I heard holiday parties, I was thinking maybe the boogeyman should take a visit.
Hey, Dova.
Yeah?
I'm gonna look up some books on occult rituals and magic things you can do during the solstice.
I'd say in the 3 days' time, you would have been slightly too busy to do that. However, after that is done, you can certainly do so.
Okay. That was more of a joke, but now I'm interested. Because he said,
tell me. I'm gonna take it serious. Come on.
Because he's like, I'm gonna look up things that which is in the things for the solstice.
Hey,
Dova,
I
I
thought
want to do
that
something for the solstice.
I thought that was fair because that's always stuff on the solstice and the equinox. There's certain magical properties.
So, Eric's, as you could you give me a nature check? As you make your way towards, walking out of the city for a few hours, eventually in the heat of midday, you make it to one of the forest groves surrounding the city. From the signs of people here, you can tell that people visit every so often, though it's not very heavily traveled. Going off the paths that run through the grove, you manage to find a small pond. The water is fairly clear. You can see a handful of frogs, a few minnows swimming within. And you just sit down cross-legged next to it, sort of reveling in the slow breeze that's just wafting through the area, quietly rustling the leaves on the trees, and the cattails inside the pond sticking out of the ground, sort of just swaying gently. Would you like to spend the full 3 days there? As even just sitting here for this long is just filling you with this sense of calm and purpose. You feel much more focused after you finally sort of bring yourself back out of your meditative trance.
Yeah, I'll stay there the whole 3 days.
All right. As repairs are finishing up, you guys start to filter your way back towards the airship, as well as rounding up any kobolds who are still out on the town. Eric's, you feel a profound calm. Whereas there was always these small thoughts in the back of your mind of deadlines, of things to worry about. They all seem to slip away for that brief amount of time, and coming back to it all, you feel refreshed and ready to face it all. Cobalt, what are the names of your two mice? Oh yeah, Cobalt's AFK. Oh, you're back?
Kinda.
What did you name the mice?
Huh. I really want to think of good names for this. Rocky and Carmichael.
Rocky and Carmichael. All right.
That sounds like good names.
I'm sure to write that down, of course.
It's not a Walker and Texas Ranger.
I was thinking of Rocky and Balboa, but I think Carmichael sounds like a better rock mouse name.
Hell yeah.
My two beautiful sons, Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh. Throwing Grandpa's war medals off a bridge.
Thank you for this bountiful feast, KFC,
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut, and Burger King. Or
I like to imagine Jesus as like a little baby.
his golden diapers. I like to imagine Jesus in a tuxedo shirt.
Fucking movie. I'm sorry.
It's so good. Yeah, I know.
Brutally off track.
We're getting distracted.
Sorry. Infel, your time with the hospital was fruitful. You managed to learn a lot more about traditional medicines, just sort of the mundane herbal treatments that people, especially among the lower classes, use, as well as some more surgical techniques, like dealing with kidney stones, for example. That is a pain. Like, actually, excruciating from what you can tell.
How long was I there? Like 3 days?
3 days. It's not enough to make any real mechanical benefits, but you feel that you really contributed. The doctor who sort of looked over them was basically your shadow. Thanks you profusely, and says that if you ever come back, we'll see to your needs, free of charge.
Of course, of course. Thank you very much. Do call again if there's any strange cases.
Oh, of course. If you're around, we'll try to get in touch.
Understood. I'll be back if I'm in the area.
All
Suppose
right.
it's time to rendezvous then.
As you're all making your way back, the workers are finishing up, doing their last finishing touches and polishing the small silver nodes, as well as just cleaning up their mess. Kobolds are getting resituated. As you see a sizable platoon of city guard, along with what looks to be a handful of mages, making their way through the front gates of the Numirotsi compound. They seem to split off into about 3 large groups, each making their way towards a different area on the dock. One of them approaching the pending. you would have a decent amount of time to do anything that you wanted to do, as they are moving somewhat slowly. Maybe about 2.5 minutes.
Cobalt's in the hidden city.
I guess prepare for takeoff, if everything's in order.
The ship's not exactly done yet. It'll still take about maybe 10 minutes to finish. However, you can definitely get started on those, making sure the kobolds know that you're basically leaving as soon as the job's done.
Raku's not gonna be doing anything special.
All right. Cobalt?
Oh, did you not hear me?
No, I did not.
Oh. I said Cobalt's in the hidden city.
All right. What about you, Rock, and Infel? You would see the rather heavy guard presence making their way towards the ship.
I suppose I'll stand and watch.
Are we on the ship or are we looking at the ship?
You're on the ship at the moment. You're getting ready to depart.
And the guards are coming towards us?
Yes.
I'll step down then and like to greet them. Might be good to do that as the paladin with the good reputation.
I'm on the defensive just in case.
And I'm sure Rock is totally aware that he should not be letting them know of what happened.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the attitude.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Exactly.
He just doesn't like people approaching the ship.
So, the sergeant, seemingly in charge of the roughly 20 or 30 guardsmen, along with 2 mages, in addition to a somewhat more esteemed mage. And I think actually none of the 2 above deck would recognize it, as far as Infel and Raku. I'm sorry, Infel and Rock.
I think Raku would have been on deck as well, and
Yeah.
Eric says the captain would probably be running around barking orders and such. Actually, Eric's, well, we'll deal with that later.
The rather esteemed looking mage makes his way up to and it's not really a gangplank, it's more of an actual platform that's stretched between the dry dock and the dock itself. As the rather esteemed mage basically walks along it without asking permission.
Hello? Can we assist you with some matter, citizen?
Inquisitor, you mean?
Inquisitor.
In any ways, I am Inquisitor Ron, and I am here to ask you some questions about some events in the city.
Oh, by all means.
Of course, we are aware that you have arrived rather recently and are strangers to the city. having been here for the first time.
That would be correct, sir.
As you witness him, actually you wouldn't see it, it's behind his back, but you would see as a brief sort of flare of sort of orangish energy wipes across his eyes for a moment, leaving his pupils glowing slightly as his eyes dart around.
And
You
I
wouldn't
don't know
happen
what
to have
magic
noticed any strange occurrences, would you?
I would have, as a matter of fact. In the hospital a few days ago, a man was afflicted with a fey parasite that I managed to excise from his chest.
Hmm. Interesting. Anything besides that?
There was
Perhaps
one other occurrence.
suspicious
Some...
individuals on the street?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Please do tell.
I was going down the... I was going down the streets when I saw a man in an alley being accosted by a very strange figure that seemed almost spectral in nature. When I approached and called out to him, he floated over the man and then seemed to bash into me with such surprising force that I fell onto my ass. I then gave chase, but lost him. I then continued to look for him, and I even got a few volunteers to help look with me. Unfortunately, our efforts were without success.
Go ahead and roll a deception check with proficiency.
Why? Everything he said was perfectly true.
It's very selective truth.
So it is. However, you do know that some of that is false.
Now,
And that's not
do you
necessarily
mean
that the DC will
advantage
be
or
very high
proficiency?
either. With proficiency, not advantage. That's accounting for your accountability as a cleric or as a paladin. All right. He nods as he says, "Could you give us a detailed description of what this specter looked like?"
I could, yes. And I'll recount all the details of the costumed figure I witnessed.
Was it something of white? Servant of white?
Is that what
The
it was
servant
called?
in white.
Servant
The
in white.
servant in white.
The sergeant behind the Inquisitor is taking down notes on a small notepad. After listening to your description, he nods. Cobalt, are you on the main deck?
I am.
Oh, right,
in
you're
the-
not.
yeah.
You're gone. All right.
I'm showing my new friends to shoot with.
So he nods. He gives a brief look over the ship, those eyes still glowing orange slightly. He says, "Well, I thank you for your diligence, citizen. And I wish you an excellent stay. In addition, I do hope that the fees for this repair are not too high, as I know they are sometimes."
They're within most agreeable levels, considering the state of the ship.
Good. As he turns back to the sergeant, he just nods as the sergeant turns and leaves off the large platform. As they return to the rather large contingent of guards, it becomes apparent that all of the guards are actually new. They're still in training. And as a part of this training, they're going out and doing some investigations. For better or for worse, your ship seems to have been their first stop, so the Inquisitor is being the example. As they slowly filter away, splitting into small groups and making their way back into the city, you let out a breath of relief that you didn't know you were even holding.
Ooh. Inquisitor right on our ship. What an exciting day this is.
Cobalt. In the hidden city. Oh, hold on. What's the date? Oh, you just missed the feast.
Oh, that's fine. Wait,
The
did you
air
tell us
is.
about
Yeah, I believe I did.
or I mean, I don't know if he told me. He might have told Erickson then.
Oh, actually, never mind.
You didn't tell us.
No, it was a long time ago.
Okay.
I was looking at it wrong. All right, you go to visit Shuluth, who seems to have a sort of childlike curiosity at the small little stone mice. And you see him in a rather happy mood, which is unusual for your visits, at least.
Well, I'm probably visiting him at reasonable hours.
Yes,
once.
you're visiting him just after lunch.
Is he wearing a gardening outfit again?
No, actually. He's wearing one of his signature robes, actually.
I don't know if it's just me, but I like to imagine Shuluth as Death from Family Guy. Because he's like this huge, powerful figure, but sometimes he's in flip-flops and shorts as he's on the beach, or sometimes he's in his normal robe.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes he's casual, this mind flayer in a gardening outfit.
I don't really watch Family Guy a whole lot, so I kind of imagine him as a more mature version of Grimm from Billy and Mandy.
Maybe. Yeah. Man, it's been
That's about
forever
the
since I watched
accent.
that.
I know.
Oh,
it's
he's
a
not
great
Jamaican?
show. Nah, I feel like for some reason Shuluth doesn't seem Jamaican to me.
Oh, Jamaican mind flare. What
Well, Dova's gonna make it happen now.
I can't do that accent, so no.
Aw.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I still can't do that accent. Anyways,
I'm Cholo's cousin, mind flyer.
with
Mind flyer. That sounds German.
For those of
a
you watching the
hollow-
stream, you can make it happen with ethereal influence.
don't you fucking dare.
Just remember, viewers, don't be too racist.
I will kill the party if that happens.
I'm innocent.
Hey, we
All right.
have an ethereal
Oh, I
influence.
swear to fucking Christ. That
Not
better
really.
be it.
Not really.
What is it? I'm curious now.
Said not really.
Oh, okay.
You could turn one of the party members temporarily Jamaican. Or into Mickey.
Anyways, with a hollow scraping noise, the platform leading from the docks to the ship is removed. As the ship floats free, a team of workers pulls on a rope connected to a pulley on the front of the ship, thus pulling the ship forward out of the dock as it slowly floats into the open harbor. Now, as part of the repairs, you didn't receive any training. However, they included a very nice instructional pamphlet as to the operation of your Rotzi airship.
And I'm sure Iastal can help us too.
We should
Yes.
go out to get salt.
Instructions to your airship.
In broken English.
Common.
Press forward the embrayage of enlightenment. But yes, you could definitely enlist Ayastal's help, as she has been appointed to be the helmsman woman thing.
The Helm's Golem.
Mm-mm.
I probably won't call her that though.
As the ship floats freely into the harbor, Ayastal reaches down into the floorboards directly in front, or directly to the side of the ship's tiller. Pulls open a small panel. Reaching inside, she pulls on a small toggle as the boards to either side of the till sort of slide open, and a set of panels, levers, buttons, and knobs sort of slide upwards with a very healthy chunking sound. All right, you're going to watch very closely as, with almost like she's not even thinking about it, she flicks a set of a handful of levers and buttons and switches, and finally reaches towards a very large handle, twist handle mounted into the floor by one of the panels. She looks around, sort of checking that everyone is safe, everyone's secure, as she pulls on it with a tremendous force. There's a heavy clunking noise from down within the ship, leading to a cascading sections of clicks, whirs, and finally a slow sort of building vibration, almost like a large object spinning at faster and faster speeds. The entire ship shudders. As you feel a strange sensation, the waterline slowly declining on the hull, as with a heavy shudder and creak, the ship lifts itself out of the water, that thrumming within the hull now becoming a very steady, almost like a whine. You guys now have an airship.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
We can do quick saves anywhere we want.
Wow, there's even a shop in here.
A bowling alley. Thank you, Eric. Alright, cool. How exciting.
So, where to?
Pretty sure Rock is very insistent on one particular place.
Rock is very insistent on one particular place.
As no matter where on the map a marker is placed, you basically stab down with a dagger on Chult,
Yep.
thereby putting a hole in Chult and
Thank God that wasn't
decreasing the monetary value of the map.
Also
Thankfully, it
causing
won't
the
take long.
continent of Chult to sink into the ocean.
Yeah.
Also damaging the table.
I
But
don't
that
know.
already happened.
By the time Rock's done, the island may actually sink into the ocean.
I mean, Chult
his-
was a landmass that sunk into the ocean. Now it's an island.
I mean, with his track record.
Anyways. Raku. There is
Yes.
eventually, as you're eating dinner one night, there is a rather heavy thump inside the mailbox.
Woo!
I know, I felt the same way.
I'm pretty sure that was from inside the mailbox, though.
All
I'm
right,
guessing you go.
No,
Okay.
no, I'm just gonna stare at the mailbox. Yes.
Okay. You open it up. You reach into it and you kind of grab.
Hey, he's
something.
staring at it. I'm gonna go get it.
No, I do get
Yeah.
it.
You said you were staring at it.
He's being sarcastic.
His deception is very high. I can understand why you might have thought that.
Maku's being a dingus. Anyways, as you retrieve something musket-shaped wrapped in a brown paper, whatever could it be?
It's a fish.
I hope it's an Xbox.
Raku kind of thinks to himself, "Wow, this guy's a dick. Why did he wrap Charla?"
It's bread, actually. Incredible bread.
I would know if it was bread before I even unwrapped it.
it's your bread of the month club delivery.
Bread box.
When Dova
This
said
would have
that, the
been-
first thing that came to my mind was that picture of a vacuum cleaner that has been gift wrapped and does not look very appropriate.
Oh no.
So-
Anyways.
This is about 10 days into the journey, and you've made good headway.
Well, that's great,
let
Dova.
me share
It's
this.
really great to hear that we're making such good headway. Thank you for letting us know about that.
Listen, you sassy kobold.
Yeah.
Not even crickets
Come on.
chirping for you.
Actually, I would have liked to talk to
Keep your
Eric.
sass in character. As you begin
How's
to
the
unwrap weather right now, you're actually flying over a small thunderstorm. And by flying over, I mean you're flying to the side, as thunderstorms can reach into the stratosphere. However, there is a thin layer of stratus clouds, sort of an overcast, thin gray layer near the ocean. You're in the sun, just on top of that layer, adjacent to a gigantic column of clouds extending far into the sky.
What's the visibility?
10 miles plus.
Any rhyme eyes?
Not in your location. I'm sure if you went into those clouds, you'd probably encounter some icing.
What's the dew point?
Dew point is currently this high up. You're not that high up, so I'd say probably 45 degrees. Temperature of 60.
What should we have our altimeter set to?
299 or 2. You're going over the ocean, you ding idiot.
All right.
Oh, okay. How is our
You dang idiot.
how is our oxygen doing? Are we able to breathe okay up here?
Yes.
Okay.
You're at about 9,000 feet, so
Okay.
you wouldn't be in any sort of trouble.
Oh, we're not.
Trouble
we're not
start.
Even, we're not even
You
in
wa-
Class A.
You want to go higher? I'll put you higher. You need to get oxygen tanks.
No.
But yeah, actually, no, you're about at 11,000.
Oh, okay.
12,500 is when you're required to have oxygen tanks, as per FAA regulations. I'll have you know.
Is 13,000 Class A, or what's Class A?
Are you gonna
18,000
wrap
and
your
above.
gun or not?
Actually, no.
18,000, okay.
You're
I thought
thinking of
this was your thing,
50,000
huh?
and above.
Am I? What am I thinking? Am I thinking of a class top of Class B?
11,000 Oh, never mind. I was right. Class A starts at 18,000.
Okay. Yeah, 50,000 is way too high.
Class A ends at 60,000.
Does it really end?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just
Well,
goes into space, and there's a whole different set of.
Then
Yeah.
you got class
Anyways.
S. No, then you got
Anyways,
class
yeah.
Ooh,
S.
I like
Class S.
Anir's idea. He could upgrade the airship into a spaceship, and we'll just leave Faerun behind.
Meanwhile, Silex kind of quietly whispers, "Dicks."
Just
Info just like looks longingly back at the moon as we leave.
Can we go there, maybe? Guys?
Just drop
go
me off
there.
at the moon. I'll be okay there.
You go
Why
there and
can't
just
I
kinda, like,
breathe?
lays on the ground and hugs the moon.
This is so improper. She's never been this large before.
No, no, Infel just wants to be like, Saloon, I'm here, except he's going,
Hey, they can hold their breath for 15 minutes.
Yeah, except
Not
space
when
will
there's
actually
not a vacuum.
suck it
Not
out of
when
you.
there's a vacuum that sucks the air out of you. Can't hold on to
Anyways, as Raku, you retrieve the musket. Unwrapping it, you see Charla pampered
How-
and almost after like a trip to the spa. She's got
But
a new
we're done.
finish. Everything's been polished.
Except it's a
Are
gun.
her nails painted?
Yes,
that. Zim,
there's-
let's get on with this.
Except it's a gun.
exactly. As there's a faint magical shimmer in the engravings.
It's so sparkly now.
And as she sort of takes a deep breath after being unwrapped, sort of coughing lightly and saying, "Oh, thank goodness! I thought I was going to suffocate in there."
I don't think she needs to breathe.
Yeah,
Shush.
I hope the guy's enchantment is better than his thoughts on wrapping you.
Oh yes, I feel leagues better than I did before.
Alright, well, I'm glad you decided to go ahead and allow an enchantment.
And I don't regret it. I don't regret it yet. Don't make me change that decision, though.
I'm not planning on it.
Yes. Anyways, it's good to be back.
Yes, it's
Um,
good to have you back.
So, Charla now no longer requires ammo. And her attacks count as magical.
And she's +1.
Alright.
Oh, okay, cool.
I have a question.
Wait. Was she +1 before?
No.
Then she's not +1.
I mean, she's sentient and magical now. She should be +1.
+1 is different.
So,
Also, this isn't like a sentient weapon that you got from the DM. This is
I
the gun
know.
you awakened.
I know. I
also-
put a lot of work in
Right.
her.
You've done masterwork.
You really
yet.
didn't.
Hey, fuck off.
You put a lot of money in her, but work? Eh.
Also, I have a question. Am I the only one who felt genuine tension in the conversation between Raku and the gun? Like actual awkward tension.
It was like a quarrel or something.
Yeah, like Raku was being passive aggressive that she enjoyed it so much. Like, yeah, that's fine. I'm glad you're happy.
That was odd, yes. But Intel
Like
wasn't there for that, so...
It was like watching a couple argue passive aggressively.
I know.
I mean, did you miss the whole point or the whole part of when I dropped her off?
No, I remembered it,
I
but
got
I didn't.
that.
I didn't
Yeah,
expect
so-
this. I didn't expect this level of roleplay to be involved.
I mean, I was being sarcastic to her, and yes, I enjoy role playing.
I know. I just thought
Oh.
it was funny.
Dova, so is there still the reload quality or no?
Yes.
Okay.
You still have to sort of manually add more ammunition. But in regards to actually adding or using ammunition, it does not anymore.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Actually, during the start of this trip, I would have liked to talk to Eric's.
Go ahead, is actually you will have a little bit of downtime before the next part starts. About a week or so.
Well, this was
As
like 10 days earlier, but
Oh yeah, but yes, go ahead and do that as you wish. Airship or travel by airship is proving to be much faster.
I can imagine. Airship. Captain Eric's, or should I be casual with you?
Yes, crew member.
Very well. I understand that you are the de facto medic of this crew.
Yes, I have abilities with healing and knowledge of the doctorly arts.
Interesting. I've been spending an amount of time at hospitals doing non-magical curatives. And I was wondering if we could compare what we know.
I suppose so. I will share my books with him and stuff.
Great, finally something to have a starting point with. Or are you just sharing your books and telling him to leave?
Well, we can sit and discuss and pore over the various notes.
Great.
I've got doctor
Hello.
notes on surgery, herbalism guides, all sorts of fun stuff.
Hey, Dove, I have a question.
Yeah.
I've seen. So they were actually genuine dead kobolds back when we fought in that cave, right?
Yes.
Okay, kobold can conjure them a kobold cadaver
Why?
to practice on.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
It has to be no longer than 5 feet on any length.
Huh.
Did not expect that.
This is
Why do you think
Cobalt.
I
His
chose a
morality is
kobold?
set to 0.
Why
God,
do you
Rock
think-
Rock was rubbing off on him.
Why do you think I picked a kobold as a conjurer? Because I can conjure things that are bigger than me. If you recall, one of the first things I did was conjure a very comfy bed for myself.
Huh. Summoned corpse.
Conjure corpse, thank you very much.
I repeat, summoned corpse.
The way I see it, like summoning has to do with living things and conjuring has to do with non-living things. But I don't think it actually matters.
That's an old body.
Hey, it looks exactly the way I first saw it. Like I'm not summoning one, I'm making a fake one.
Oh.
That's why I differentiated between summoning and conjuring. This will help you guys learn medicine, right?
This corpse would be incredibly rotted.
No, it wouldn't. It looks exactly the same as when I
As
first
when
saw it.
Cobalt saw it die.
Oh,
Because
you're
I'm not
talking
summoning-
about... Oh.
Because I'm not summoning one, I'm making a fake one out of magic. This is like the third time I said that.
Yeah. Look, hey, it's that one mage that Rock killed that Sully tried to spare. Oops.
Mhm.
Not that you would know.
What a coincidence.
Neon, I like this. You guys can make it happen with ethereal influence.
What's happening?
I'm pretty sure Dova would like to know as well.
Why aren't you guys in the stream?
So I watch good stream. I'm just kidding.
What, you think I watch my own content? You're crazy.
No, you're supposed to be in there to chat with the people. You're dedicated
yeah,
fans.
I did have it up, but I closed mine because running that and Fantasy Grounds at the same time was making it crash.
What's helpful is you can pop out the chat and still watch the chat.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea for you guys. Anyways,
what I
Neon
do.
says that we should go to space and return with a moon-sized ship with thousands of magic cannons aimed right at every capital city. And then, you know, become the space overlords of Faerun.
Oh great, we're evil.
Wasn't that a Final Fantasy storyline?
If it's a Nier that suggested it, then probably.
I think it's actually a thing. Yeah, no, it's totally a thing in an
I think
anime
it's
I
Final
watched.
Fantasy IV,
Oh, wait.
actually.
Hold on, no. I think they did it in Sonic Adventure 2 as well.
Yeah.
With Eggman's Space Colony arc, he starting to shoot the capital city with it.
Final Fantasy IV, the after years. It sounds sort of like that, too.
This seems to be a common theme. Considering it was also used in Star Wars.
Oh, great. Let's make the Death Star.
No, we can just make a Mega Maid.
Even better.
Spaceballs.
What?
I call Lord Helmet.
God.
You
Anyways,
Anyway.
I don't really have anything further for you for this session. Now that this has been sorted out, you have your airship and you are now on your way to Schult.
And we're practicing on a conjured body, I guess.
Yes.
And
As
Intel's not sure if Eric has anything to say about this, but he's a little uncomfortable.
I mean,
Cobalt, what do you know about the insides of a kobold?
I talked
He
to
saw
Rock
them when
Rock.
it was cut in half.
I talked to Rock a lot.
Fair enough.
Yep.
The quality of the internal sort of cavity is kind of questionable.
I mean,
But
we did accidentally kill some kobolds when they were under control of the Mind Flayer.
Accidentally.
I was about
Yeah.
to say, yeah.
you would have a decent amount of knowledge of the insides, and for you, Enfel, it's it's good enough for demonstration purposes, but
Not much else.
yeah.
I'm sure the heart goes here.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm sure a few of them have been ripped open enough in different spots that he can stitch together an idea of what the inside of a kobold looks like.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure actual surgeons do stuff like this on fake bodies and real bodies to practice.
Fake bodies.
I mean, this one's technically fake.
Anyways, we are done for the evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us. I really appreciate the support. In a moment, you'll see my schedule scrolling on the screen. There it is. thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you, Dova, for DMing the group. Thank
course.
you to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. You guys are awesome. You really make sure that I can keep bringing this content. I will be back tomorrow with Portal 2 Co-op. I'm dragging Raku/Ray here with me. He doesn't get a choice, he just has to.
Good luck.
Alright.
There will be much crushing. I mean, I will totally be very nice and just complete the game without purposely killing him. Yes.
You know, you can use those cubes to aim the lasers.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pro facts. These are pro tips I'm giving you guys.
Anyways,
Never before seen.
thank you all so much for joining, and I bid you all adieu.
Yes, goodbye.